Good afternoon. As I was examining these diagrams and many others and reading the scripts in the PDFs associated with this U.S. Army Corps of Engineers application for wetlands, and quite frankly, the go for this Amazon project, a whole lot of things didn't make sense. Especially when it said they wanted a minimum of 700 megawatts, which would infer that they would intend to expand the data center campus. That would make sense, okay? But 700 megawatts, as it is one-third the capacity of North Anna Power Station. And if you take a look at North Anna Power Station, you don't have the sorts of towers that are transversing at this relatively low voltage level through the county capable of transmitting that much power. There's enough power here to go through the wetlands and start to charge this, but there's also enough water on the existing site here to cool this on its own if it had some issue with not being able to cool with ambient air. So why is it that in the Board of Supervisors application that they asked for this particular sewage transmission, as well as wanting and saying in the permitting process that they would have access and use access to the North Creek Reservoir for cooling for this particular plant, which by itself is somewhat reasonable if you had to do it, but you don't have to do it because remember, they have water right here. So there has to be a reason for this conduit system that they want to put underneath this wetlands, and or they have not disclosed what the full intent of this is. So what you have to do, you have to go ahead and come up and look at North Anna itself. Now you notice that these small modular reactors, these nuclear reactors, they're going to test them and build them right here at North Anna, okay? But what you do with those, as they said, we put things on a truck and just drive them over to the site. Well, the site probably is this one right here, because if you are able to develop a small nuclear reactor here and you can drive it to a place that you don't want to go through the expense of redoing the transmission lines and the substations or whatever, you effectively go from a plug-in option for electrical transmission to a nuclear battery on-site option for electrical transmission for critical or whatever nuke sites that you have. So just as you have here a nuclear site on Lake Anna, now called North Anna Lake, here Amazon would have as many as 3 nuclear reactors right here, mini reactors, upstream from Desperate Creek, which is a tributary into the South Anna River, okay? But those small nuclear reactors and the power would subvert the need for Dominion Energy to have to build a power system. So if you take a look at the whole thing, the premise of all these little narratives about road crossing and all that other stuff to talk about the fact of AI, what you're actually doing here is this isn't a data center at all. It's just a toehold in so that you can have nuclear generation expanded in Louisa County, and instead of having it on the North Anna River, you have it on the South Anna River instead.